My inspiration for heritage pots. Life. I come from a family that has a long tradition of being involved in traditional rule. What I remember really from my childhood was a funeral of Nano Fariata, who was the Ochihin, and my father, who was an academic, a politician, generally sort of a man about town. The moment he got into Chebe and the drum started, he changed. It was almost as if he was possessed. And the movement, and if you understand the Fontom from and the Boma and the Kete, every movement means something and says something. So I've always been interested, what does that mean? What does that color mean? What does that pattern mean? If you put this bead and that bead together, what are you saying? Everywhere you come from in Ghana, and we all come from somewhere, culture for me and legacy and heritage are non-verbal communication. We're always saying something. So that's my inspiration. Every so often, there is a client who I will make a pitch at and say, I would like to propose making a pot for you that combines maybe your brand colors or a particular kente or fabric that I have seen you wear expressed in a pot or a bowl that looks like that. So that's really it. Sometimes it's what I would like to wear or what I would like to have in my home, or something that I have seen that I find attractive, and I think, how can I add something to it? How do I turn this around? I generally just source the pots. I don't make pots. So I source the pots from different places. We have somebody who actually makes our stands for us, and we've taken it to the next level where we're wrapping leather around the stands to prevent it from scratching the bowl. So when the pots come in, I have a conversation with my team. We base the pots to make sure that they don't crack and they can be as durable as possible. Then we go through the colors. What colors do we want to choose? And then the symbols, the beading, the raffia. So there's a whole process. We have different types of pots, but the process is inspiration, which I take from around me, really. And sometimes it's because I've seen something in particular that I'd like to recreate. Then order a particular type of pot, sit with the team, have a meeting as to what I see. And everybody that I work with is an artisan, really. Two of the people I work with are painters, really. And then the woman who works with me on the beading actually makes my clothes. So they're people who are part of my life. So that's the inspiration, life. I started making these pots really during the lockdown, so it hasn't been that long, and I have many examples of pots that I refuse to show anybody and I refuse to look at because it was a work in progress. What I have found that works for people, a lot of people really respond well to traditional symbols. So whether it's Akam symbols, the Edinkra symbols, Ga Samai, there are people who didn't even know that they had their own symbols and what they mean. So that always seems to resonate. I think colors, the use of color as well, because we have a certain notion of it has to be a certain way. So if you turn the color around or you change the color, I find that people respond well to that. So the new line that we're doing, for instance, is called the Intama range, where it's really looking at patterns of really old Dutch wax cloths that grandmothers used to have, and people recognize it and they say that's Ekufuahene or what, or Anansi, and they recognize it. So that's really good. We also obviously work with Kente, and Kente is fascinating because in a way it is abstract. When you look at it, you think, how did that color come next to that? But there is a rhythm and a method to it. So I find that people respond very well to our new line, which is in a way inspired by, very much so, old Dutch wax prints. People respond very well to the Kente cloths, and then of course to the traditional symbol. We customize, so each of our pots, from the moment we actually start working on it, and because it's all hand painted and hand finished, takes us 2 to 3 working days on each pot. So before we even do that, I would like to visit, if it's going into a home or into an office, just to get a sense of where is it going, going, where is it going to sit, how is it going to fit. So I'd pay attention to the surroundings that it would go in. Also the usage, are you going to just have it as an ornamental pot? Are you going to plant something? In my house, I have them as ornaments, but I also put pots and things in them, vases, flower vases in them. So I like to get a sense of that. What makes me really, really happy when I go into somebody's office is to see a heritage pot that has become part of their decor. It's not just standing out, it's part of it. Then I feel that it's been accepted. So I like it. I like seeing heritage pots in the client's home or their office. We're very fortunate to have been invited by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority in September to participate in Sound Out 2021. It was our first time operating at that level. It was an amazing experience at the Accra International Conference Center, both for us as a very small team and just watching the reaction of people to our pots, and as well as the other artists who were there. It was a platform. We are looking forward to participating in November in Durban. That is the Intra-African Trade Fair, and of course, huge platform. This is all of Africa. 6 countries selected really to highlight themselves, Ghana being one of them, and Heritage Pots gets an opportunity to go there. Heritage Pots is inspired by greatness. Everything that we put out is inspired by something we have read, something we have heard, a song, a sound, a pattern, a color. We hand paint clay pots. We customize clay pots. We adorn clay pots with raffia weaving, with beads, with brass. What we are is a legacy series, if you like. We tell the story of Ghana's culture, Ghana's heritage across time.